Welcome back to Morning Live. For 50 years, Tom Bochsler has been shooting history. He just didn't realize it at the time. He's compiled a great new book, The Art of Industry, detailing 5 decades of his work. And this picture actually was shot 54 years ago tomorrow of Coots Paradise. And some of your work here started right at CHCH.
Definitely did.
And you brought this in. This is so cool. This is your CHCH TV press pass.
I used to stick that in the window of my car when I was doing CHTV work, and so you could park in places like you could not possibly
it's
park
media
anymore.
Parking, right? Yeah.
Right. So it worked very well, and I just kept that, and it was great.
That's really neat. And this isn't the original camera that you were using, but this was an early version of...
Well, this had a few modifications. One was that you could have a battery-powered light in here for focusing in dark areas, where the other ones you couldn't. You'd have to focus through the rangefinder.
Quite a difference from the tiny little digital cameras that we have now.
For sure, yes,
this book here, The Art of Industry, is so chock full of just great memories. If you grew up around the Golden Horseshoe, we've compiled some of them on a shot now. So if we could go to the first picture, actually, it's of a really old-fashioned setting. It's a home delivery.
Right. Well, that's one where I used to drive around with this press camera in my backseat of my car, because no one would steal anything those days. And so when I saw this scene, which was a heavy snowfall, and the date, I think I marked down the date someplace, but I didn't bring it with me. But anyway, here's this horse and buggy pulling through there, and cars probably couldn't move through there.
No, but the horse and buggy could. Yeah, this is another, the next shot here is another, I mean, it just shows, you can see a little bit lower here on this shot, everybody out to see this sign, this brand new sign that was lit.
And this is right next door to the Royal Connaught Hotel, which was quite an event to have this big float and a searchlight, and this is right across from the old Spectator building, and so it was part of my series of promo photography.
Right. There's a Main Street Jamboree.
Yeah, the old Main Street Jamboree actually started off in radio, and then when it came to CHTV, then I was here as well, traveling around with them in their various venues. And
you got to meet so many people, actually. There's Johnny Cash.
Right,
what a great photo of Johnny Cash.
Actually, I gave him a copy of that one time when he came to town with one of the promotions that he did here. Yeah. So
very cool. Of course, a lot of very young talent there. An early show of Tiny Talent Time. How many kids have gone through that?
Bill Lawrence was the host there, and that was a great show. Yeah.
And then Romper Room?
Romper Room, and my oldest daughter, Bernadette, was on that one time, too.
Really? So you got connections all over the place.
She's 55 years old now. So.
Here's another, so we're going from the TV industry now to the health industry, and wow, these are the nuns at, is this at St. Joseph's then?
The St. Joseph's Hospital, and it was for part of the beginning of a fundraising campaign that we're going to do, so I had to go through the hospital and photograph these various activities, like even in the operating rooms.
Yeah, you said you were kind of squeamish about that one. I would be too.
But the sister Ursula was the nun there, and a little story about one of the training nurses there. She saw my exhibit at the art gallery 7 years ago, and or at least her mother saw it. And she says, that's my daughter in there. So and she lives in France now, so she wanted a copy of it.
Oh, that's so neat. A lot of history, unfortunately, is gone as well from the Hamilton area. Our next photo here, that's Studebaker.
Yeah. Studebaker, yeah. That was done for a magazine to sort of at the tail end of their lifespan, but it was to promote their, having international markets.
Right,
so I would... the composition of the photographs that I would make would try to make them editorial interesting, as well as interesting for if you don't know anything about the business at all.
You did a lot of work for Westinghouse as well.
Right, yeah. That's a large frame for a motor or generator type of equipment. But usually I would try to learn something about what the equipment was for and who they were trying to show it to or so on. So I had to get an understanding of what was going on before I could really do the picture that I wanted.
Amazing. There's International Harvester. Sadly, it's gone now. And you know what? In Hamilton, our time is up. But people can get your books. You've got a website, theartofindustry.ca, where you can get more information on where to get the book, actually. And it's at it's at the Art Gallery of Hamilton. Quickly here, Brian Prince Booksellers as well, and A Different Drummer in Burlington. and lots of other places.
Yeah.
Tom, we're going to have you back on again to go through the rest of this book. It's so fantastic. We've all been poring over it.
Read the stories. There's lots there.
There's lots there.
Thank you very much.
You are chock full of history, my man.
Thank you.
And we're back with more news right after this.